The Bobby Brown Show is the place to be. We talk about freedom and liberty, faith, life, and walking in victory. From politics to movie reviews, biblical teaching to the latest in the news. The Bobby Brown Show is the place to be. The Bobby Brown Show is the place to be. The Bobby Brown Show is the place to be. Share, 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 like and 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 share.
That's right, hit the like button.
Like and share, the Bobby Brown Show.
Share this video on all your social media platforms.
The Bobby Brown Show.
Make sure you still subscribe to the channel, because they will unsubscribe you, because I don't come up here every day. And when I'm not up here every day, they tend to unsubscribe people. But go ahead and make sure that you got your notification bell on, because we're going to get into something real quick before I head out. So let's get right into it. So before we do anything, I want to go ahead and hit this. Fair use. The copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976 allowances made for fair use for the purposes such as criticism, commenting, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. All right. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. But nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Number 2, all opinions expressed by the program participants are solely their current opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Robert Brown or the Bob TV network. We do promote our First Amendment rights no matter if I agree or not. The program participants' opinions are based upon information they consider reliable. It is your responsibility to fact check on your own, nobody else's. Now, I add that in there because you can't rely on fact checkers, because a lot of them are corporate owned and they're going to brainwash you too. So you need to go find out for yourself, investigate for yourself. Don't just listen to what the pastor preach. You take that tape home, you take your Bible and you go over that word and you read the entire context to see if what he's saying is true. Everything need to be in context. Don't go by snippets. All right. So we're going to get into this, and going to go ahead and give me a second. All right, there we go. This is Kamala Harris, the VP, current vice president. You know my opinions on Kamala Harris. She's not black, number one. And I don't know why she play on that and let people play on that. She identifies black based on her upbringing, not based on her skin color, because her father himself said he's Indo-Jamaican. Donald Harris, esteemed scholar, Stanford University, stay not too far from her in D.C., but we don't have no record of her and him hanging out or doing anything, or him at the house or him at any party or nothing. What is up with that? What is up with that? He said he's Indo-Jamaican, and he's very protective of his Jamaican heritage. He talks about his Irish lineage, slave owner lineage, Hamilton Town, Brownstown. He talks about that often. Her mother is full-blooded Brahmin Indian, come from India, imported from India to Berkeley. Her dad imported from Jamaica into Berkeley. That's how they met. Both of them were going for their master's degree. He got his degree in Jamaica, and she got her degree in India, and they came to Berkeley to get their masters and their PhDs. And that's how they met. And Kamala Harris spent a little bit of time in Oakland, but they ended up moving to Chicago and various other places. They moved also from Chicago to Canada. She went to high school in Canada. She did her first year of college in Canada, and then she went over to HBCU. She didn't come from a middle class family. She come from an lower class, wealthy family. You can't be middle class pretty much being a professor. Have a dad that's a professor at a STEAM university and a mom that's a professor at a STEAM university, a PhD at that. Ms. Gomolian, very intellectual cancer research doctor, scientist, who ended up dying of cancer herself. God bless her soul. But Pops is still alive, going strong. Very, very prominent economic professor who Jamaican leans on when it comes to economics. He is not a corporatist; is more of a socialist. Some people say he's even communist. I wouldn't go that far, but people are entitled to believe whatever they want to believe. Which brings me to this. Kamala Harris did her short run in this election and lost by a landslide. She got mollywopped tremendously, beat down. And when a woman take a hit like that, it hurts them. And, same thing with Hillary Clinton. It hurts them. And they can't handle it, especially the ones who think they all that. And when it comes to the American public, majority, they don't see you as all that. And clearly the American public in majority didn't see Kamala Harris as all that. They knew she was not a popular vice president. She was one of the worst vice presidents in history, according to the record. Now, me, personally, I think Dick Cheney was the worst president in history. I got to give her some props. She wasn't no Dick Cheney. But Dick Cheney was the worst president in history in my personal book. But she was not an engaging vice president, let's put it that way. And maybe that's a good thing, because some people just need to advise and learn. She was pushed in that position as a negotiation between Obama and Biden when it came to that South Carolina primary, because she spent most of her time in South Carolina primary trying to work that black vote. And she garnered a lot. And it came down to her and Bernie Sanders. Joe Biden wasn't in the picture at all. But they needed Joe Biden to have a win. So obviously they had made a deal for her to concede before that primary and endorse Joe Biden. And not only did she do it, but Pete Buttigieg and fake Indian lady, Elizabeth Warren, all of them, Amy Klobuchar, or whatever name, Cloud Boot Jar, all these people suspended the campaign pretty much at the same time and gave Joe Biden an endorsement. Now, why would that happen? Who has the power to lead people to do that? Well, we already know it was Obama that did that, and they made some concessions, and there were some deals to be done. You do this, we're going to make sure you have a cabinet position here. We're going to make sure you have a leadership position there. We're going to personally make sure me and Joe going to make sure that you have a position there, and just need you to concede and endorse Joe. And that's what happened. Kamala Harris, all she had was this race when she ran for president. She got mollywopped in the primaries. Tulsi Gabbard took her head off and her numbers plunged. And when it came to a re-election for her for Senate, which was coming up soon, the chances of her winning that again was slim to none. The chance of her becoming the governor in California slim to none. Her politics in California took a huge hit. She's not what people think she is in California. Her California career is done. So people talking about, she's going to be, maybe she should go for governor. And no, politics in California is done. Matter of fact, her politics period is done. Gavin Newsom will be the new shining bright star coming in the next election to go against J.D. Vance. It will not be Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris cannot really run a campaign. And the campaign that she had to have the Hollywood prop her up with the image of a successful campaign, but behind the scenes, it was disastrous. The exit polling was disastrous. The inner polling was disastrous. She didn't improve at all on Joe Biden's number, and she was spending money like crazy to try to have the image of she's winning and winning, just like Hillary Clinton. They raised over $1 billion. $1 billion. Now, a lot of that money came from Joe Biden and was transferred over to her after they did the soft coup on Biden, forced him to step down and automatically put her in place instead of giving everybody the opportunity to vow at the Democratic National Convention for the presidential nomination, since they didn't want to have a primary, which is still undemocratic. It's still down the line of fascism. When you say there's not going to be any opponent, that's fascism. No, we don't care. Robert F. Kennedy, Marion Williamson, you're not acknowledged. We're not going to debate you. You are not even looked at as an opponent. We're not going to give you anything to run against him. He's our guy. That's what you call a dictatorship. That's what you call fascism, where the people don't make the choice, the party makes the choice. And even in the DNC lawsuit, it stated that no matter who votes for the nominee, the party makes the decision on that nominee going forward, no matter who voted for it. Because the DNC and those who run under the DNC run under the corporation known as the Democratic National Committee. You can look that up. That's the DNC lawsuit of 2018, I believe. Started in 2016, but 2018 was the final call on that particular lawsuit. You can Google it and take a look at that. So even now, it is, as you can see, December the 1st. It's the first of the month. Cash your check and come on. And we see Kamala Harris still has this donation chart up. And the race is over with. Why do she have a donation chart? Because she took almost $2 billion and spent it wrong. She spent it wrong. And I'm surprised there's no ethic investigation for campaign finance violations. You taking money and you spend it donating here. You're doing a quid pro quo with these agencies in order for them to have you there to talk about the election. The Roland Martins, the Al Sharpton, I can go on and on and on. Who knows about Steve Harvey and D.L. Hughley? Of course, it ain't going to go straight to their hands, so they're going to say it didn't go to my hand. But it probably went to their nonprofits' hand, because most of them got nonprofits. Now, she's still asking for money. Now, according to this, Kamala Harris raised more than $1 billion for her campaign. She didn't raise most of that. A lot of that stuff was already there. But she did help push that through the different people that donated to her campaign. She's still sending persistent appeals to donors after defeat. So as you see, she's still asking for money. She's still asking for money after she's been defeated. Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party prodigious fundraising operation raised more than $1 billion in her loss to Donald Trump, but the vice president is still pushing donors for more money after the election. You can't do that, which is really amazing. I mean, $1 billion, she outraised the so-called billionaire, and the billionaire defeated her, and he didn't need to use all that kind of money. So just let you know, money doesn't win elections. It's how you use the money that may win an election strategically. And you may not need a whole lot. Democrats are sending persistent appeals to Harris supporters without expressly asking them to cover any potential debts. Enticing would be donors instead with other matters. The Republican president-elect picks for his upcoming administration a handful of pending congressional contests where ballots are still being tallied. It still don't matter. He already won. The Harris campaign certainly spent more than they raised, and is now busy trying to fundraise, said Adrian Hammond, a Democratic strategist from Michigan. He said he had been asked by the campaign after its loss to Trump to help with fundraising. So they asked this guy to help her with fundraising after the loss. After the loss to Trump. The party is flooding Harris' lucrative email donor list with a near daily appeals aimed at small dollar donors, those whose contributions are measured in the hundreds of dollars or less. But Hammond said the post-elected efforts also include individual calls to large donors. So there is really no lucrative email donor list. It's the same email donor list that has always been there for the Democratic Party. It didn't expand. It's still the same. It's the same that Obama had. It's the same that Joe Biden had. It's probably one Bernie Sanders had. We begged Bernie Sanders not to sell his donors list, but the turkey probably did anyway. Those who contributed measured in the hundreds of dollars or less, but Henry Rothbard already went over that. One person familiar with the efforts of the DNC finances said the Harris campaign expects shortfall is a relative small sum compared to the breadth of the campaign, which reported having $119 million cash on hand in mid-October before November the 5th. That person was not authorized to publicly discuss the campaign finances and spoke to the conditions of anonymity. So by October, she had $119 million in cash. She had started out with $1 billion. $1 billion. Now, but the scramble now underscores the expense involved in losing efforts and the immediate challenge facing Democrats as they try to maintain a baseline political operation to counter the Trump administration and prepare for the 2026 midterm elections. It's also called into question how Democrats use their resources, including host events with musicians and other celebrities, as well as running ads in a variety of non-traditional spaces, such as the Las Vegas Dome Sphere. Now I'm going to stop right there. One of the things that got Hillary Clinton in a lot of trouble, and she could have been brought up on campaign finances charges, is she reallocated the donor money. When you get a huge amount of donation, that's not just for you. You're supposed to share that with the down ballot. And if you don't help finance the down ballot in the, when it comes to the congressional seats, the House and Senate, and help finance their campaign and the governors and things like that, you're setting yourself for failure. There's no evidence that she allowed some of that money to go down to the down ballot. There were people that running for office that could have used that money. Hillary Clinton rerouted that money down ballot and repatriated that money back up. She found a way to do a full circle to have that money go through the down ballot back to her. And there were some investigations on that. In this case, Kamala Harris did not allow any of the money to go to the down ballot. She used all that money to prop herself up, which is a bad rule of campaign finances, which is a bad strategy when running for office because you're not helping the whole team. That's what happened with Barack Obama in 2016. I mean, in 2014, 2012, in 2012. That's what happened to Barack Obama in 2012. He did not share all that money that he raised with the down ballot. And that's why you have thousands of seats being wiped away from the Democratic Party to the Republican Party because Obama didn't finance those people. Obama didn't take Obama for America and ran it as a slate. You know, start running people under his platform. Like Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders started, I forgot what it's called. Bernie something, Sanders something, Our Revolution. He started Our Revolution. And the purpose of Our Revolution is to find candidates that's going to run on our platform, a populist platform, so we can begin to get massive win. That's how you got the squad out of Our Revolution, Brand New Congress, and Justice Democrat, which was started by Cenk Uygur and Kyle Kalinske. They ran under the platform of Bernie Sanders, and they ran a Bernie Sanders-esque campaign. And when the DNC was not able to fund them, they could go to those agencies to get funding from the people. The people funded these particular movements. And one of the people that you know that came out of that was Andrew Gillum. Andrew Gillum was Andrew Gillum was denied by the Democratic Party, the DNC, of access to the emails, as we just saw here, Kamala Harris email, access to the DNC email database, like Bernie Sanders did, which caused Tulsi Gabbard to speak up about it because she was the DNC co-chair assistant in 2016. She stepped down because she saw the rigging and the biasness from the DNC toward Hillary Clinton and not being fair with those who were running with them all, including Bernie Sanders. Shut Bernie Sanders out. He had to go on his own. They didn't let Andrew Gilliam have that. Now, this is just an example of what they did. They did the same thing with Ayanna Pressley. These people who just still kissed the DNC behind, even though the DNC cut them off at the knees and pretty much strangled them with their bare hands, straining them from life. So you're not getting nothing from us. They told AOC the same thing. We're going with Crowley. You're not getting nothing from us. Andrew Gilliam, no, we're going with Bob's Graham's daughter. You're not getting us. We want another Graham to be the governor of Florida. You're not getting nothing from us. So these people got strangled to the point they had to go to these other organizations, Brand New Revolution, Brand New Congress, Justice Democrat, Our Revolution, to get help to run for office. And in most cases they did, such as Andrew Gilliam. And a lot of them did win. Where they made a mistake was they should have stayed away from the DNC and say, hey, I'm going to run this on my own, still under the DNC banner, but you weren't willing to help me now. But yeah, I'm going to need you to help me later. I don't need Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, none of y'all to help me because y'all wasn't trying to help me. Y'all was supporting them. So the whole point is when you get these campaign finances, and you read this on your own, I'm not going to go over there. I'm going to go over to this chart. When you get your campaign financing, you have to be strategic with your finances. Don't spend it on foolishness. So you figured the only way, your strategy was, let's drive the Gen Z and older people up that love entertainers, people that listen to entertainers, and they're influenced by entertainers. And back in the day, entertainers were pretty much influencers, and their endorsement would matter with products and services, stuff like that. But when it comes to elections, it's not that way no more. It's not that way no more. Here's the top contributors. This is open secret. This is one of the websites you can always go to look into politician, election, lobbyist group, and things like that. This is one of the pages I told you should look into when you go vote for somebody. It said the Biden for President Campaign Committee has now been renamed Harris for President. This page shows all the campaign data that was formerly listed under Joe Biden. So remember I told you a lot of that money didn't come from Kamala Harris. A lot of it came from the Joe Biden campaign. And it was coming in by the droves until Joe Biden had the disastrous debate that made everybody say, oh, no, nah. And honestly speaking, Trump was taking it easy on Biden on that debate. Trump was not the bombastic Trump that he was in 2016. He wasn't. Thank God. Because Joe made himself look bad up there to the point that the top donors say, hey, we need to pull the plug on Joe. Now, mind you, we're Americans. We're American citizens. And the people should make the decision on who get to run for office, not big money donors. But like I told you in the DNC lawsuit, the DNC is a corporation. And even though you may vote for their candidate to be the nominee, they have the power to pull that nominee off if they want to. And that's how they did Joe Biden. Joe Biden did not want to leave. But they forced him down by drying him up from the donor list. And saying, we're going to take all this money, we're going to put it in Kamala Harris campaign. So as you see here from Open Secret, this page show all campaign data that was formerly listed under President Joe Biden is now listed under Harris for president. Now you're going to look at the donors. You got $136 million from one organization, Future for USA Action. These PACs and super PACs are disastrous to this country. It takes away the ability of the small person trying to donate. How are you going to listen to little old me and my $25 that I give to the campaign when this organization by itself gave $136 million? American Bridge, 21st Century, almost $40 million. Asana, $40 million. Bloomberg, $20 million. One man in this organization gave her $20 million. I'm estimating to the lyric. I'm estimating the numbers, okay? League of Conservation Voters, 15. These people you never really heard of, but they got money like this. They raise money like this. $15 million. Democracy PAC, $15 million. Gray Light. See, I can go on and on of the big donors. 10 million, 9 million. Sequoia Capital, 8 million. You see this? Millions upon millions of dollars given into this campaign. And of course, your little $5, $10, $15 donation. Cute donation. Oh, that's so cute. Oh God, so cute. Man, these are monster donations. And that's how our politicians end up being not in the interest of the people, but in the interest of the big money donors. Because your little Mickey Mouse $5, $10, $25, they're cute little dollars. Oh, so cute. Ain't nothing compared to these monsters right here. These are monster donations. Most of it wasn't raised by her. Most of it was transferred over by the Biden campaign. This one donation alone, Bill Gates probably say he has backed Harris with $50 million donation. Now, everybody getting mad at Elon Musk for donating to Donald Trump millions of dollars, and they got a right to get mad. I'm just a little old me. I barely can send $10 a month to the Ronald McDonald Foundation, who did something tremendously in my life. You got somebody like Elon Musk donating a lot of money to Donald Trump, but you're going to get mad at Elon Musk when Bill Gates privately said he has backed Harris with $50 million, according to the New York Times. $50 million. Now, according to the Independents, them want Harris to stop sending fundraising emails after burning through $1.4 billion in campaign finances. Understand this. This was a test. If you can't manage your budget on your campaign, how in the blue hell you going to handle the budget of the United States? How are you going to handle the finances of the United States if you can't handle the budget on $1.4 billion, a historic amount of money raised in a little bit of time? Yet you're in debt now, and then we come to find out that a lot of your handlers may not be you, may be people who advise you, that talked you into allowing celebrities to be your forefront to get people to support you. Everybody listen to a celebrity. Everybody listen to 50 Cent. Everybody listen to, if 50 Cent said it, man, if Usher said it, if Beyonce said it, now how are we going to get them to say it? Because these guys are people who normally don't get involved with politics. Maybe you got them on the Diddy tape. Force their hand. Maybe you grease their hand by donating money into their favorite nonprofit. Who knows? Here's another up. Trump versus Harris fundraising. Harris has outraised Trump by nearly 5-1 among last-minute big donors. She raised more than Trump 5-1 and still got mollywopped. Because how she ran her campaign was atrocious. You go back and watch my series, Dumb DNC Mistakes. It's a playlist, and I go over the reasons why the Democrats keep losing. And if they don't change these reasons, they're going to lose again and again and again. NBC was unaware Harris gave $500. Now, I'm not going to go into the different people who she gave money to, either directly or indirectly. There's plenty of news out there talking about this. I'm going to get to my main point of this discussion, and then we're going to go forward from there. MSNBC was unaware the Harris campaign gave $500,000 to Al Sharpton's group ahead of a friendly interview. 2 donations of $250,000 to the National Action Network. Now, I'm going to tell you something. There was a time when National Action Network, the building was in debt. And Al Sharpton needed to save the building, and he needed to find a way to pay it off. Now, Al Sharpton is a shady brother. FBI informant, had to do a lot of snitching and all that kind of do. Fat Al got himself in a lot of trouble and started a lot of trouble. And he had to rebrand himself to Calm, Cool, Collective, No More Starting Trouble Al, with the gastric bypass. Skinny Al, who sold out to the Democratic Party, not the Justice Movement. 2 donations of $250,000. So that didn't go directly into his hand, went directly, but who runs that organization? Who gets a salary from that organization? Al Sharpton. Donald Trump ended up bailing them out on the building. Him and Donald Trump been friends for decades, just like Jesse Jackson and Donald Trump, friends for decades. All these black people were friends with Donald Trump for decades. And the fallout happened primarily when we got the first not so foundational black American to run for office, and he ran on his mouth about the birthday issue. But the real hatred didn't come from Donald Trump until he lost to Hillary Clinton, and he wasn't even trying to win. The man wasn't trying to win. But yeah, she gave money to him. She gave money to Roland Martin, all these people. You know, here's another article. Al Sharpton accepted $500,000 donation, but you know, then Dems fear Harris continued fundraising the Rose Trust. And this is the point where I'm going to stop here. She gets on a Zoom call. She appears allegedly drunk out of her mind, and she just talked about how you guys did great. But this is just the beginning. And she sounds like you're drunk on tea just coming home from the club. And I know some of you don't like me saying that, but you know when you saw that, that's what you thought. And who gave her the advice to go out and do that? She could have been on a medication, could have been on something, but she wasn't sharp. She wasn't clickety. She wasn't steppy. She looked defeated. And hey, she was. She got mollywopped. She got beat by Trump. This is the first hard defeat she ever had in her life. Majority of the time she ran on a slate or a ticket. Long as Willie Brown say vote for her, people voted for her. Willie Brown was her way up the ladder in politics. Even her position for Attorney General, that was ran unopposed. So she really haven't had a real strong challenge in a long time, except for the Senate seat. I might got that backwards. I'm a little tired. The Senate seat or one of them was unopposed. Well, anyway, this is her first defeat on a higher scale. And you had people propping her up, knowing that the numbers were not in her favor, but propping her up as if she was going to win. I really believe they used and abused her, the Democratic Party. I don't believe Obama wanted her to be the nominee. I don't believe Joe Biden wanted her to be the nominee. But the DNC and the Democratic Party and Barack Obama refused to have a challenge to Joe Biden. They didn't want to challenge to Joe Biden, and they were going to set up. Now, Joe Biden messed up for the simple fact he said he was going to do only one term. And that one term, she should have did what Hillary Clinton did. Became a world-class political leader as a vice president. Hillary Clinton did it as a Secretary of State. She went and met with heads of state and had, and her posture was, I'm just as equal as you are, and we're going to do business like you're doing business with a man. You're going to do business with me like you're doing business with a man. And she didn't take on that initiative. Of course, Joe Biden gave her some things to do, and she didn't do that too well. But there's a whole lot of things she could have did to prepare for the next 4 years, since Joe Biden said that he was only going to do one term. Her career is pretty much done. And look, be fair, she didn't have that much time to run a stellar campaign, but people expected her campaign to be Obama-ish. And she's not Obama. There's no charisma. Obama was a community organizer. He worked directly with hands of love with the people. Now, whether you like Barack Obama or not, this is the truth. He was a community organizer as soon as he got out of college and Yale and all that, Harvard. And went to Chicago and worked in the community and worked in the church and got his hands involved in the community. He used hands of love. And that's how people got around Barack Obama. And his whole campaign was almost in that image. Not white America, black America, we're America, hands of love. Her hands was not that. Former prosecutor, district attorney, attorney general, your cop. Record of hard hands, especially in the black community. And then you want to turn her around and make her seem like she got hands of love. It wasn't working. Her career in California is done. She cannot run for nothing else in California. And her running for president again, that's a misnomer. Gavin Newsom is running. And a couple other people going to run that's going to be just as qualified for her and more charismatic. Now, let me end with this. The whole point is this. When you raise money like this, the money is not just for you. The money is to help out your slate, to help out your team. She made the Barack Obama mistake. Sure, Barack Obama used the money to get reelected, but he did not have any power to continue his so-called vision. He had 2 years where he could have went all out for the people who put him in power, the black community, but he didn't. But hey, look, we got to get people in the House and Senate. Give me 2 more years. Make sure my people win the House and Senate, and we'll continue this vision. Well, you had the money to fund them, and you didn't let the money go down through the down ballot, and they got mollywopped, and you end up losing the House and Senate. Well, you kept the House, but you lost the Senate. And every time you try to get something moved, you were met with opposition because of you. Give me 4 more years. Gave you 4 more years. Same thing. You didn't take your money and shared it with the down ballot. You didn't run on a platform. You shouldn't say I only want to endorse people that's from the Obama for America platform. See, Trump ran on America Great, the MAGA, the America First team. He got this thing called America First team. And he was looking for candidates to run under American First, and he went out and endorsed them. And if they didn't, he wasn't endorsing them. You need to do that the same way with Obama for America. Joe Biden didn't do it, and Kamala Harris didn't do it. You're going to take all this money and you're going to spend it on superstars. Now, I'm a legend. I don't have all the documents yet, But we already know a lot of money went to Oprah, money went to Roland Martin and Al Sharpton. So you know some money probably went to Steve Harvey. All these people out here caping for Kamala Harris, Uncle Luke and all that. We know, we can assume that money went to them. But it didn't go through directly through their hand. It went through a organization, 501c. More than likely. That's why they was keeping so hard at shaving you if you didn't support. All this money. See, this is how you lose elections. Go back to my dumb DMC mistakes. Every person that you run for office, they better not do those certain things. If not, you're going to lose. I've given you the winning formula to win elections, simple and plain, and I'm not a campaign strategist. But some things are just campaign common sense. And if you look at every election where the Democratic Party lost or the Republican Party lost or the Green Party lost, it's because of those things. But here's one I didn't put up there, ignoring the down ballot. Because it's not just about the President of the United States. It's about having the ability to keep the power in the House and Senate also. Some of this money should have went to win seats in district and to win seats in different states, in different districts, in different regions. But none of it did. Spending money on, allegedly, Cardi B to come out and say nothing. Megan Thee Stallion dancing and twerking. You, a presidential candidate, using Hollyweird and sexual explicit hoochie rappers to present before the world as the new America. This is the new America, where we're not serious. Where it's about partying and having fun, and had hood rat rappers up there talking about my booty hole and my pee and and eat this and eat that on stage with Glorilla, at a presidential convention. And I know these donors were saying, "What the heck? I didn't invest in that. This is a waste of my money." You putting your advertisement or your face on a dome in Las Vegas? You going on all these podcasts that most people never heard of. Most people don't watch. Some people do, but people from the hood don't. The people who you depend on getting the vote out, they don't watch that mess. Could have been spending more time in the hoods. I've not heard of you coming to New York and visiting any neighborhood, but Trump did. Trump went to my old neighborhood. Went to a barbershop. Guy who used to give me the Dominican shave on the ball and do my beard. Went to his shop and just stayed there and talked to the guys for an hour. Whether it's to get the Latino vote or black vote, that's the whole point. Whether you're going to do something for not, that's not the point. The point is I need to go down there and let you know now I'm listening and I'm with you. Even though I may not be with you. But my optic is I'm with you. I gotta make it look like I'm your friend. She wouldn't even do that. It reminds me of Hillary Clinton, who would not go to the Rust Belt. She's gonna send Bernie Sanders to do 48 to 60 campaigns for her. Yet she say he ain't do enough. That was your responsibility to go and talk to those people why you messed up the Rust Belt with NAFTA, CAFTA, and what you're gonna do to bring it back. Trump talking about bringing it back. Whether he can bring it back or not, he's talking about it. He's showing them a plan to bring it back. You don't show them no plan. And then your constituents, as governor, running for governor, a candidate for governor, candidate for state legislator, a candidate for community legislator. None of them talking about those issues that the people need. None of you talking about solving those issues. And mainly because they don't have the money to run the local ads. They don't have the money to run the statewide ads or the national ads. They don't have none of it. Because one person keeping all money to themselves, thinking a celebrity, Hollywood-driven campaign is going to not only drive out the black vote to 100%, but it's going to get more Latino votes. No, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. Give me a moment. It don't work that way. And sadly, to say it doesn't. Doesn't work that way. Running campaigns is serious business. And you got to have your hat on. You know who they contribute to the win of Donald Trump? Who's the main contributor to the victory of Donald Trump over Kamala Harris? His youngest son, Barron. Barron showed him how to not use money, not depend on big money donors. Of course, Trump going to use his own money. Y'all think he don't have money, but he got money. But to use social media. And that's how Trump won. I mean, it seemed like every time they try to find something to get him on, they'll turn it into a song. And now people dancing to it. You know, he goes and take a picture, mugshot, and they sell T-shirts out of it. This guy find a way somehow to profit off it, to turn it around his way. But you can't seem to do the same thing. And then secondly, he was running people under the American First campaign. And a lot of those American First people got elected because they were running on the same platform Trump ran on. It's called Agenda 45. 47, I'm sorry. He gave his platform a name. Agenda 47. This is my agenda. And if you go look at it, some of the stuff you would agree with. Some you won't. I agree with bringing back jobs to America. Don't mean I support you or voted for you, but I agree with that. Bring them jobs back to America if you can. Bring manufacturing back. Shouldn't have left in the first place. No, I don't want no big husky fat child that think he's a girl when he's really a boy playing in the same sports with my little girl, especially contact sports. And I don't want no male who identifies as a woman coming in the bathroom with my daughter, who go into the bathroom just to do a little tinkle. And now I got to go in there with her when I normally don't have to worry about it. You just can stand by the door. But now I got to go in there with her because I saw this tall, burly woman identifying as a male. And look, that's your prerogative, but go use the neutral room. New York, we got neutral rooms. Or go use the men's room. We don't mind. Folks, I'm done. I just wanted to talk about that for all this money got mismanaged. The purpose of you getting all these donations is not for you to use it silly. If these people really supported you, you wouldn't have to get any. They'll freely endorse you. Freely. I don't think Donald Trump asked Hulk Hogan, big another racist. Hulk Hogan a racist. I don't think he asked him to pay him for an endorsement. Kid Rock loved black women, but still got racist element in him. I don't think he got a check from Donald Trump to perform. But yet, we got 34 accounts of felony on Trump because they claim that he paid a prostitute off with his money to hush her up about an election, hush her up during an election. Those entire 30 plus counts, felony counts, was on that one issue. The check, the number of the check being put in the ledger, the check been moving from one ledger to another ledger. All those were charged toward him just for paying off some woman that he used to smacking and flipping and rub it down. But in actuality, I can give you money just to give you money. Who says it's hush money? Well, I'm going to call it hush money. Now you look at that, a man's own personal money toward a prostitute whom they claim was hush money to shut her up. And let's say she said it was hush money. That has nothing to do with campaigning. It's a financial crime, and it's going to get dropped soon enough. You can't hold those charges like that. That's going to get dropped in the high court. Mark my word. Because it's frivolous. It's stupid. Girl I used to get hooked up with every now and then. She asks for some money, I give her some. And now she mad at me, and she want to say I paid her to keep my mouth closed. I'm like, say what you got to say. Yeah, I was with you at the time. Yeah, I admit it. What you got now? I'm not going to pay you to shut up about me and you getting busy. I got busy with you. That's it. I honestly believe this particular case, Don was just giving money. Because he oftentimes give money to people. And then people turn around and use that against him. Oh, Robert, you came before. Man, dude, it was one of his side pieces. She was a side piece of Trump. And dudes oftentimes give their side pieces a little money. Take care of them. Keep them in well good. I might need to come back during a cold night anyway. But to take $1 billion and not share it with your down ballot and you use it to try to get endorsements, that is just as much of a campaign violation as the Stormy Daniels situation where the 34 felonies come from. Just as much. And folks, in the future, you got to remind these politicians, look, when you run for office, you're not running for yourself. $1 billion flushed down the drain to the point now you owe millions. You're millions in debt. Those people not giving you your money back, and now you got to go to the people to try to recuperate and pay the debt that's left. You should have had a massive surplus. Bernie Sanders had a surplus. You should have had a surplus. You shouldn't be owing. You should have managed that money to the point where you gave everybody running for strategic positions, especially in the House and Senate where you're trying to take over. That money should have went to them where you can account for it, for advertising for them too, for campaigning and everything to help them out. That way that money is justifiably being used. And what you're doing now is you're really spitting in the face of the donors who trusted you to spend that money wisely. I guarantee you they were not okay with the Cardi B's and the Megan Thee Stallion and the Glorilla and the Magic Johnson and all that. Those are things that should have been given for free. You're spending the money to go to a meeting. I'd rather you go to Al Sharpton's Black Action Network and just take a video camera and go live from your camera and talk. You got to spend all that money to. Anyway, I'm done. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm Bobby Brown with the Bobby Brown Show. I'll holler at you later. Good morning and good night.